Success favors silence, not because it is secretive or mysterious, but because it requires time and space to develop. Success, much like a seed, begins quietly beneath the soil. It does not announce itself to the world, nor does it demand attention or validation. It simply grows, steadily and silently, until one day it emerges strong and noticeable. Yet many of us feel a constant urge to tell everyone what we're doing, what we plan to do, and how we intend to get there. Why do we do this? Perhaps it's a craving for recognition or approval. Maybe it's the thrill of saying, "Look at me, I'm on my way." But here's the issue. The more we share our plans, the less energy remains for actually executing them. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? Talking too much can drain the very momentum necessary to succeed. Over the years, I've witnessed this repeatedly. People with ambitious goals and noble intentions, ideas that could transform their lives, often talk themselves out of the very things they aim to achieve. How does this happen? By sharing their dreams too early, they expose them to the cold winds of doubt, criticism, and distraction. Slowly, the enthusiasm that once burned bright begins to dim. Today, I want to introduce you to the philosophy of keeping your plans close to your heart, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. It's about cultivating a mindset that values action over words, focus over fanfare, and results over recognition. At the end of the day, it's not what you say you'll accomplish that matters, it's what you actually bring to life. Keeping your intentions private can be incredibly powerful. There's a subtle, almost mystical relationship between intention and action. Every time you share your goals, your dreams, or your plans with others, you release a portion of that energy. The fire that fuels your efforts is partially given away, and often that fire is better contained in the quiet sanctuary of your mind, rather than exposed to the world prematurely. One simple reason is that sharing can create a false sense of progress. You announce, "I'm starting a business," or "I'm going to lose 20 pounds," and people nod, smile, or even applaud your ambitions. It feels gratifying, doesn't it? That validation triggers a small taste of reward. The danger is that the mind can confuse approval for achievement. You haven't done the work yet, but you've already savored a tiny portion of the outcome. What happens next is subtle but real. The urgency to act diminishes, the fire cools, and the dream that once seemed so vivid begins to feel as though it's already been partially realized. Comfort replaces action, and the demanding work that turns dreams into reality is postponed. This is how even the grandest ambitions can falter in the cradle of good intentions. Some might argue that sharing plans helps with accountability. Accountability does have value, but only with the right people and at the right moments. Not everyone who hears your plans will understand them. Some will question your motives, doubt your skills, or silently dismiss your ideas. Even if unspoken, their skepticism hovers like a shadow over your aspirations. And if you're not careful, that shadow can infiltrate your own thinking. You might begin second-guessing yourself, wondering if perhaps your idea isn't as promising as you thought. This isn't to say you should never share your ideas. The key is to share selectively, thoughtfully, and at the appropriate time. Your vision in its earliest stages deserves protection, much like a gardener shields tender plants from frost. Share your goals only with those who will nurture, not trample, your dreams. Mentors or trusted friends who genuinely wish to see you succeed are ideal confidants, but even then, share sparingly. Avoid turning your ideas into a spectacle before they've had the chance to fully develop. Consider the power of surprise. There is strength in accomplishing the unexpected and allowing your results to speak on your behalf. Imagine quietly working on a project for months, perhaps even years, without mentioning it outside your trusted circle. When the time comes to reveal the finished product, a completed goal, or a remarkable achievement, the impact is far greater than if you had announced every step along the way. People are amazed because the success seemed to materialize out of nowhere. This demonstrates that action always carries more weight than words. I remember a young man who dreamed of starting his own business. He was brimming with ideas and excitement and couldn't resist telling everyone about them. At every chance, he described his plans, his vision of success, and how his life was about to change. People listened politely at first, but over time, skepticism began to grow. Months passed with little progress, and the more he talked, the less people believed in him. Eventually, he stopped believing in himself as well. Contrast this with another story of a farmer from the Midwest. He envisioned transforming his small family farm into a flourishing enterprise. Instead of announcing his plans, he quietly immersed himself in learning, reading books, and studying successful farming techniques. He implemented new strategies without fanfare. When the harvest came, he amazed everyone with the quality and abundance of his crops. People asked how he achieved such results, and he simply smiled, by working quietly without anyone watching. The lesson is clear: talking less gives you more time and energy to act. It reduces the need for external validation, strengthens internal confidence, and protects your narrative from premature exposure. This isn't about secrecy, it's about strategy. It's about recognizing that your dreams are precious and deserve the space to grow until they can stand on their own. How many times have you shared a plan or a goal only to feel motivation slip afterward? How often have the opinions of others swayed your path? These questions reveal the power we relinquish when we speak too soon. The encouraging news is that you can reclaim that power by choosing action over explanation, focus over chatter, and accomplishment over validation. The world is filled with noise, opinions, distractions, unsolicited advice. Sharing dreams too freely invites that noise into your life. Criticism, doubt, and envy are everywhere, ready to derail even the best-laid plans. Consider when you share a big idea, how often do people respond with genuine enthusiasm? Sometimes they do, but often the response is caution, skepticism, or subtle discouragement. They might ask, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "That sounds risky. I knew someone who failed doing that." Even well-intentioned advice can plant seeds of doubt. Doubt, once planted, grows quickly. It chokes the roots of ambition and distracts you from your goals. Then there are those who envy your drive, reminded of what they haven't accomplished. They might not speak ill directly, but their subtle negativity can sap your energy. Even helpful advisors with conflicting suggestions can lead you astray. All of this noise scatters your focus, making your original vision harder to hold on to. Discretion, however, is a powerful tool. Keeping your plans private protects your focus and creates a quiet space for your ideas to flourish. It's like constructing a greenhouse for your ambitions, a protected environment where growth happens in optimal conditions until the time is right to face the world. Momentum is another critical factor. Momentum is the forward motion generated through consistent, purposeful action toward a goal. Momentum thrives in silence. When attention is on doing the work rather than talking about it, you build rhythm. Each small step reinforces the next, and before long, you've made significant progress. When plans are announced prematurely, that rhythm is disrupted. Focus shifts from execution to explanation, from action to justification. Every moment spent defending your intentions is a moment not spent advancing toward your goal. It's like trying to drive while constantly stopping to show others your route. You lose speed and clarity of purpose. I recall a friend who had always dreamed of writing a book. Instead of announcing this lifelong ambition, he quietly set a goal to write 500 words a day, every day, until completion. He didn't tell anyone, not even his closest friends. Day after day, he worked in silence. Months later, when he finally revealed the finished manuscript to a small circle of trusted people, their admiration was immense. The power of quiet consistency is undeniable. Focusing on action, protecting your vision, and controlling the timing of your revelations ensures your efforts carry maximum impact. The world may never notice the early struggles, but when the results are unveiled, they speak louder than words ever could. Your dedication, perseverance, and silent discipline become your ultimate statement. They were amazed at what he had achieved, not just because the book was well written, but because he had done it without seeking attention or approval. When the book was finally published, it succeeded not through any grand announcements, but because the work itself carried all the weight. Now let me tell you about another friend, someone equally passionate about writing. Instead of quietly getting to work, he spent months talking about his plans. He called constantly with updates, shared outlines, and sought opinions on every minor detail. The more he spoke, the less he wrote. Eventually, the project fizzled out entirely. Why did it fail? He spent all his energy chasing validation instead of building momentum. There is a powerful lesson in these two stories. Action breeds confidence, while excessive talking breeds hesitation. By consistently acting, even in small steps, you demonstrate to yourself that you are capable. You build a record of accomplishment that fuels further progress. Conversely, when you talk too much, you remain trapped in the realm of possibilities, what could be, what might be, without ever bridging the gap to reality. Some people fear that keeping plans private makes them seem secretive or distant. The truth is that discretion isn't about shutting others out, it's about preserving your focus. Your dreams are valuable, and not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't invite the entire neighborhood to walk through the soil before the seeds have sprouted. You protect the ground, water it carefully, and wait until the first shoots appear. Only then do you allow others to admire the fruits of your labor. The same principle applies to goals. By keeping them private, you aren't being secretive. You're being strategic. You give yourself space to grow, to learn, and to adapt without the weight of external expectations. When the time comes to share your achievements, the impact will be far stronger because it is backed by real, tangible results. Here's a challenge. The next time you set a goal, resist the urge to announce it to the world. Channel that energy into action. Write it down, make a plan, and take the first step quietly, deliberately, and with complete focus. The objective isn't to impress others with intentions, it's to impress yourself with accomplishments. Moving in silence is liberating. It frees you from the pressure of external expectations and allows you to operate on your own terms. When you announce plans publicly, you place yourself in a spotlight. People watch, wait, and often judge. That pressure can be stifling, especially during the early, uncertain stages of a project. Success is rarely linear. It is a journey filled with trial and error, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Under public scrutiny, setbacks feel magnified, every misstep becomes a point of potential criticism, and every delay invites scrutiny. By keeping your plans private, you give yourself freedom to fail quietly and learn from mistakes without extra pressure. Discretion is more than a strategy. It is a gift you give to yourself. It creates a safe space for experimentation, growth, and refinement without distraction. When not seeking validation, you become more attuned to your own instincts. You begin to trust yourself more deeply, relying on your judgment rather than the opinions of others. Feedback is valuable, but timing and source are crucial. Not everyone is qualified to give meaningful guidance, and not every stage of your journey is the right time to seek it. Early on, when your vision is still forming, focus on the work itself. After you've built something tangible, invite feedback from people you trust and respect. I once worked with a man gifted at spotting opportunities. He could see potential where others saw obstacles, yet he had a fatal flaw. He could not stop talking about his ideas. Every time a new concept emerged, he rushed to share it. Often, someone else acted on his idea before he did. He gave away his advantage by revealing his plans too soon. Contrast this with a quiet, unassuming businessman I knew. He rarely spoke about his projects. He wasn't flashy or boastful, but his execution was remarkable. While others were busy talking, he was quietly building. When he revealed his work, it was always polished, impressive, and ready for the world. His results spoke louder than words ever could. This highlights another principle: results are your best advertisement. Significant achievements attract notice without a single word. The attention generated by action is far more meaningful than any recognition sought through premature announcements. Your deeds create a ripple effect, reaching others in ways that words never can. Another overlooked benefit of privacy is focus. Sharing plans not only gives away energy, but invites distractions. People ask questions, offer suggestions, or share ideas, pulling you in multiple directions. Before long, your vision becomes muddled. Focus is a precious resource. It channels energy toward one point and allows progress. Protecting focus means limiting who knows your plans. Imagine applying this principle to your life, starting a new project, business, or personal goal, and telling no one. Working quietly, steadily, without seeking validation, what could you accomplish in that space of silence? How far could you go without the weight of outside expectations? This is the essence: freedom to work on your own terms, letting your actions speak louder than words, and protecting your dreams until they are ready. It is not about being secretive or distant, it's about intentionality. Energy, focus, and momentum are too valuable to squander on idle chatter. When you finally reveal your work, the results carry depth and credibility that words alone cannot convey. The satisfaction comes from knowing you didn't just talk about your dreams, you realized them. Keeping plans private is not hiding. It's respecting the value of your energy and focus, nurturing fragile beginnings until they are strong enough to endure. Action is more potent than words, and results outweigh any announcement. Keeping your plans to yourself signals confidence to yourself. I trust my ability to see this through. I don't need applause to begin, and I don't need permission to pursue my goals. This rare type of confidence empowers freedom to act without fear, to learn without judgment, and to grow at your own pace. When you succeed, you inspire others, not through what you claimed you would do, but through what you actually achieved. Your actions become a beacon, demonstrating that true progress arises from focus, discipline, and quiet determination. Success is not about loudly proclaiming intentions, it's about pursuing them steadfastly. Embrace this philosophy. When setting a goal, resist public announcements. Write it down, make a plan, and get to work. Let actions speak and results serve as proof. Trust that when the time is right, recognition will come, earned through effort. Success does not require a spotlight or stage. It grows quietly, steadily, in moments when no one is watching. Guard your dreams, protect your focus, and allow your actions to define you. This is the path to true achievement, and it is a path worth walking.